welcome back to the Play Strong Girl podcast. We are doing another solo episode today and we're talking about injury rehab. Not the Instagram motivational stuff, not the textbook physio stuff, but the truth from someone who's been on both sides. As a physio doing the rehabbing and as the athlete lying on the table wondering if they'll ever play again. I've had my ACL reconstructed in 2020, orbital floor fracture repair in 2018 twice, and more ankle injuries than I can count. And I've also rehabbed hundreds of athletes through their darkest moments too. So here's my 5 non-negotiable truths about injury rehab that I wish every injured athlete knew. Some might surprise you. Truth number 1, it's okay to be absolutely raging, but give yourself a deadline. Right, so first things first, when you get injured, you're allowed to be devastated. I hate when people immediately jump in with everything happens for a reason, or you'll come back stronger. Not saying that those things don't have a place, but within the first 3 days or so, maybe just save the motivational quotes. Because I know immediately after getting injured, I'd be thinking, would you ever just go away like everything's changed? When I did my ACL in January 2020, first session back with the Irish Sevens after Dubai, first catch of the ball, I planted my foot and boom, my knee blows up like a balloon. Maybe you would have expected me to be this positive warrior like straight away, but I spent the first 2 days in bed, crying, feeling very, very sorry for myself. And you know what? That was exactly what I needed. Give yourself permission to grieve. You've lost something, your routine, your identity at that moment in time, your plans, and that's real loss. It's okay to feel whatever feelings come up, anger, frustration, resentment that your body has let you down, or relief. I had that too. And you know the thoughts of what if I won't play again? What if I'm not the same player? I'm telling you, these are normal thoughts and emotions to have. You're a human being after all. You don't need to force yourself to have toxic positivity. It's okay to feel crap. Allow yourself some time to process those emotions, get them out of your system so that you're ready to move on after a few days to the next stage. But this is the crucial bit. Give yourself a deadline. Mine is always about 72 hours max. 3 days of wallowing, grieving, then you make your action plan. Because here's the thing, staying in that dark place doesn't change anything. The injury is still there whether you're crying about it or creating a comeback story. You might as well do something productive. Your action plan doesn't need to be perfect. Mine after the ACL was literally week 1, get onto prehab, get the knee range of movement back, and get my walking normal. Week 2 was increase my walking distance and, the prehab as well. Week 3 was getting everything ready and in place for surgery. That was it. But it was something. And something beats nothing every single time. Truth number 2. Your rehab is only part of your life. Find other wins. This is massive and nobody talks about it properly. When you're injured, rehab becomes your entire personality, and it was mine. Every conversation starts with, how's the knee? Every thought about recovery is timelines. It's exhausting and honestly pretty crappy for your mental health. Here's what changed everything for me. I set goals that had absolutely nothing to do with my injury. During my rehab, I remember this was peak COVID lockdown, so I'm stuck at home with a trap bar, 220 kilos and a kettlebell. But I decided I was going to get my first proper strict pull-up. Nothing to do with my knee, just pure upper body strength. I became obsessed. But I didn't have a pull-up bar, so I went outside to my dad's garden swing and used that as my pull-up bar. Like my parents, they thought I'd lost it completely. But every morning I'd hang there, do negatives, band-assisted reps, whatever. 6 weeks later, I did my first strict pull-up. But these don't need to be physical goals either. Other girls I've worked with have started online courses. One girl did her nutrition, one girl did a nutrition course during her rehab. Some learned languages on Duolingo. I've seen girls do lots of crocheting and knitting too. That's become a big one recently. They have an opportunity to travel places they've never had time to visit during the season. And also a big one is reconnecting with friends who aren't into sport. There's a whole world outside of rugby, GA, football that, you need wins outside of your rehab. Because rehab isn't linear. Some weeks your knee won't bend any more than last week. Your strength test won't improve. And if that's your only measure of success, you'll go absolutely mental. But if you're also working towards your first pull-up or learning Spanish or like mastering a sourdough recipe, you've got something to celebrate. Something that's moving forward when your injury feels stuck. Just a quick second to tell you about my online coaching for female athletes of all ages and all stages of their strength and sporting journey. Strength and conditioning is so important for women. Whether you want to get stronger in the gym, faster on the pitch, have some structure and accountability to stay consistent, or want to bridge the gap between early stage rehab and high level performance, I can help you get there. Everything is done through the MTA Performance app. Get your fully personalised program that fits you, your schedule and your goals. Every exercise has an in-depth video tutorial and voiceover to ensure your technique is perfected. With the MTA Performance app, every workout is logged, and I'll use that data to continue to personalise and progress your plan going forward. And I'll be there to support you with any questions, any queries along the way to ensure your success. So if that's something you're interested in, then click the link below or DM me on Instagram, MaveListon_physio, and book your free call with me to get a plan sorted just for you. Take your sport and career, your gym performance, and your overall health to the next level with the Play Strong Girl system. With me, your coach, Maeve Liston. Truth number 3. Rest and see is not a rehab plan. Okay, so this one definitely strikes a little bit of a chord with me, and I'm raging about it when I hear it. If your physio or coach tells you just rest up for 4 weeks and see how you go, run, well, hobble away as fast as you can, like that's not a plan. That's pretty much laziness dressed up as medical advice. And when I was younger, before I knew better, I had this ankle injury before like Irish basketball trials. The physio told me to rest for 6 weeks. So I did. What did I do during those 6 weeks? I did absolutely nothing. Just sat there, getting weaker, losing fitness, losing confidence, and losing my mind, basically. Then I tried to come back. It was still sore, but now I was also unfit and mentally shattered. Did the trial, and surprise, surprise, I rolled my ankle again, obviously. Like, my coordination was shocking, my reactive speed was just non-existent. But compare that to proper rehab planning. When I did my ACL with a great physio, every single week had like specific exercises with the exact sets, reps, tempo, rest period, measurable goals like getting my knee to flex to a certain degree, hop tests, strength ratios, a plan B if something wasn't working or was too sore. There was clear markers for progressing to the next phase, weekly check-ins and adjustments based on how I was responding. A proper rehab plan should look like weeks 1 to 2, these exact exercises this many times at this intensity. Week 3 to 4, progress if you've achieved like XYZ markers. Red flags to watch out for, like difference between good pain and bad pain. What to do if it's sore versus painful. I promise there is a huge difference in that. And also like how to modify your training, not just stop everything. If someone tells you to just rest and see, please find someone else. Your confidence comes from doing something productive every day, even if it's tiny. Rest and see gives you nothing to build on, no sense of progress, no control. Truth number 4, you can't rush biology, but you can absolutely waste time. This is the one that took me years to properly accept, and I still see athletes fighting against it daily. I remember before those basketball trials I was talking about, I was desperate for my ankle to heal quicker. I made this paste out of like turmeric and water, and I just slathered it all over my ankle for its, anti-inflammatory properties. It was pretty much like a yellow war paint. And then I'd be sitting with my foot in Epsom salts, then I'd get ice and then a heat pack, and my ankle was luminous yellow for weeks. But did it heal faster? Not at all. Unsexy truth, different tissues in the body have varying healing times. And also that depends on the severity of the injury. Like, of course, a bone is around 6 weeks, a ligament sprain to full rupture can be anywhere from like 6 to 12 weeks longer. And then your post-ops, like that takes months. And that's biology. It's non-negotiable. It's like a deep cut. You can keep it clean, give it the right environment, but ultimately it needs time to close. If you push it too early, it'll split right open and you're back to square one. But this is important. While you can't rush the biological healing, you can absolutely waste that time. The difference between someone who comes back strong and someone who doesn't isn't about that they healed faster. It's about what they did during that healing time. While my ACL was doing its biological thing, I was building mental resilience through visualizing when I'd be back on the pitch. I developed crazy upper body strength. I improved my relationship with my body and my nutrition. I studied game footage to understand tactics better for sevens. I couldn't make my ACL heal faster, but I could make sure everything else was ready when it did. So many athletes sit there Googling how to heal faster when they should be asking, what can I improve while my injury heals? Time will pass anyway. Your tissues will heal at its own pace, but whether you come back weaker or stronger, that's entirely up to what you do with that time. Finally, truth number 5. Your recovery happens off the pitch, not on it. So this is the final one, but it's probably the most important. Your recovery, your actual healing and getting stronger, it doesn't happen during your rehab sessions. It happens when you're sleeping, eating, managing your life outside of training. When I was rehabbing, I was absolutely militant about my rehab exercises. Perfect form, never missed a session. I tracked everything. But my sleep was pretty shite for a while. I used to stay up to 1 or 2 a.m. playing Zelda Breath of the Wild on my Nintendo Switch. I was one more shrine, and then that just ended up turning into 3 more hours every single night. My nutrition, I was kind of living off protein bars and coffee, and my stress was through the bloody roof, trying to prove that I was still valuable, even though I wasn't playing, and then COVID was all happening there. It was a stressful time. But my rehab was progressing well, physically, but I felt absolutely wrecked the entire time. But here's what changed everything is that I started treating my sleep, my food, my stress management a part of the actual rehab plan. Not optional extras, but definitely more of the non-negotiables. Sleep became medicine. We know from loads of research that sleep is when your body actually repairs itself. Growth hormone gets released during deep sleep, and that's literally what rebuilds your tissues. Minimum 8 hours, no negotiation, switch off at 10 p.m. And I mean off, not just I'll finish this and go to bed, all that rehab work. It's only effective if you're sleeping enough for your body to actually do the rebuilding. Nutrition became fuel, not punishment. I stopped restriction madness and started eating to heal. Your body needs extra energy and protein to repair your tissues. You can't rebuild an ACL on lettuce and the anxiety that I had. Proper meals, enough carbs, protein at every meal, and not because I was tracking macros like a bodybuilder, but because tissue repair needs actual nutrients. And hydration. Jesus, the amount of athletes I see doing intense rehab while chronically dehydrated. Your joints need fluid, your muscles need water. If your pee isn't basically clear, you're sabotaging your own recovery. Stress then became something to manage, not ignore. This was the hardest one. When you're injured, everything is stressful. But here's what's mad is the stress hormones cortisol interfere with your body's ability to repair tissue. So I started treating stress management physio exercises, 10 minutes of meditation daily, journaling to get the mental chaos out of my head, and actually talking to people about how I was feeling. And another huge one was setting boundaries with social media. The difference was unreal. My energy improved massively. My body started to feel stronger. My confidence grew because I was actually recovering properly, not just ticking the rehab boxes. Just because you don't have a game or training doesn't mean you're off. Your body is working 24/7 to heal. You just need to support it 24/7. Not just during the hour that you're doing your exercises. So I see so many athletes nail their rehab sessions, then go home and sleep 5 hours, doom scrolling and watching Netflix till all hours, eat like shite because sure I'm not training properly anyway, and then stress themselves into the ground with their work study because they have the extra time. You don't have to completely swear off alcohol, but excessive drinking is going to negatively affect the healing process. And they do all these things and then they wonder why they're not progressing. Your lifestyle is your rehab too. The exercises are just one piece. If you're not sleeping, eating, hydrating, and managing stress properly, you're basically trying to build a house and like someone else is trying to knock it down behind you. This isn't about being perfect or like becoming a monk. It's about recognizing that these factors aren't separate from your recovery. They are your recovery. When I finally got this, everything accelerated, not because I found like magical exercises, but because I stopped sabotaging my own healing with like shite lifestyle choices. So if you're sitting there frustrated with your recovery, before you blame your physio or your program, please ask yourself, when did I last get 8 hours of proper sleep? Am I eating enough food to actually fuel my healing? How much water did I drink today? What am I doing to manage this stress? Because I promise you, the answer to those questions matter more than a perfect exercise. So if you're injured right now, here's what I want you to remember. Feel what you need to feel, then make your plan. Find wins outside of your injury because you're more than just your sport. Get proper help and not the rest and see nonsense. Respect time, but don't waste it. And your lifestyle is your rehab. So treat it that way. Your injury story is just the beginning. And the best chapters, they come after the setback, not before it. And that's what being a strong girl really means. Not avoiding injury, but knowing exactly how to come back when it happens. Because it will happen. Like, sport is brutal. But now you've got the science and the system to handle it. You can do this. You're a big, strong girl too. Thanks so much for joining me here on the Play Strong Girl podcast. We will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.